Yo, man, you need to come over a little bit.
I need to come over a little bit. Hold on. Fix this one.
We live.
Yes, we're live. Give us a second.
Give us 1 second, everybody. We're just getting organized here. Also, you can do the title. Oh, you put it at the top. Okay.
And pin it. No, it'll be at the bottom.
Maybe at the bottom. Okay. Wow, look how clear it is on there. We did it with this on there?
Wait. I didn't do it last week.
Yeah, I don't know. It's clear. Wow, it's dope. Give some time for us to get settled, for people to come in. New day. Took a break last week, but we are back in the building to drop some knowledge.
And knowledge.
All right, let's get you over a little bit.
Oh,
Boom.
like that. Is that better?
A little bit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right there. Hopefully this one doesn't come up blurry, but
We'll see.
we will see. Get that lighting right. Anyway, welcome to the Branded Geeks, another live session.
Yes.
Pete the Geek.
Kim the Geek here. Happy Wednesday.
You did it.
Hope everyone. Yeah, you just went in.
Oh, yeah.
Let you do it.
We just in our office, We just
Oh my
just
gosh.
talk. We just shoot and shoot. Why you gotta look at me like that?
Shooting the shoot. Anywho, happy Wednesday, everyone. Like Cleet said, this is Cleet
Pete
the Geek, and I'm Kim the Geek, and we're the Branded Geeks. Joining you today on our new day, at our new time, Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Yes.
I'm doing our weekly live, and hope everyone has been having a better than ever day. I know my day was better than ever. How was yours?
It was great. A great day. A lot of moving parts to it. A lot of good conversations. Some new starts of things. But starting with some new clients and things like that. But very productive day, nonetheless. Very productive. I'm used to saying hump day, but it's not a hump day.
It's not how you can do it. It's the day Tuesday.
So it's Tuesday, and I can't say thank God it's Monday. So
You
we're
say,
kind of
"Thank
like,
God it's Tuesday."
nah, it don't work the same. It don't work the same. But we felt this would be a better day. It gives us more time to just actually get into some good discussions about the various topics that we deal with as entrepreneurs, as web designers, as graphic designers, and really just give a little bit more time to share knowledge. So I'm liking the new time.
Yeah, I'm liking it too.
Okay.
So with that being said, this week's topic, we want to talk a little bit about how to drive traffic to your website.
Yes, which is very important. I mean, how many of you, you built a website and you spent thousands of dollars on it, or you spent thousands of hours on it, right?
That part.
Sometimes it's one or the other, but you put a lot of time and resources into building the site, and then you're about a month in and you're like, man, no one's seen my website.
Right.
Like, I'm not getting any traffic, so what we've found over the years as we built websites, and we've had the opportunity to work on dozens of website projects, we found that it's equally important to have a strategy for traffic to your website. So we can create this phenomenal website for you. It has all the bells and whistles. It can have stuff moving all over the screen. You can have all these videos. You can have all your content. You can have your copy, which is your text. You can have that dialed in, and it is just so expressive, and it captures your voice and all this amazing stuff. And nobody.
It could look so pretty. Like you could have the most beautiful website
on the planet.
On the planet, but.
And you could have dropped like 10 grand on it. Like,
right.
Oh yeah, I don't, this is my business. I take my business very serious.
Right.
I'm going to put in all my time and energy into this website, and no one ever shows up on your website.
Right.
So
now you're left a little frustrated now that you.
Oh, you angry.
You invested, and now you're like, where are these customers? Where are these clients at?
Yeah, and guess what you're looking for? You're looking for, if you pay somebody, you're tracking them down, and you like, give them money back, or you complaining about that. Or if you did it yourself, you feel like I'm terrible. You might have a really quality, you might have built a very quality qualified. I'm just jacking that word up. Your website looks good, okay? But you could doubt yourself because, you know, you didn't get traffic. So we wanted to just take a little time to kind of paint that picture to really show that the traffic piece is equally important, because you could put all your time and energy into getting the site up. But if you haven't thought about how to get people to the website, then you're kind of defeating the purpose.
Right.
You know, it's a two-step process, essentially. My brother-in-law, who owns his business, check out. You know, we'll probably have them on at one point just to kind of jump in. Yeah. But my brother-in-law, G Dub.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. That's about to drop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, but yeah, they have a consultant business. I know a guy. One thing I love that he always says is, you know, for Disney, he read an article or came across something not too long ago. Thank you, B Dog. He said, "Good topic." This is a great topic, man. We get it more often than we expect to. That's why we're talking about it today. But he always talks about this story about Disney, and I think I might have dropped it on one of the other lives. But Disney was in Tampa. Disney being, you know, Walt Disney. He was in Tampa, and, you know, he was trying to decide where he wanted to build Walt Disney World. And he was actually thinking about Tampa, and I can't remember where he was heading to, but he flew over the area, which is Orlando, Kissimmee, and he flew over that area, and in the plane he could see the roads converging to one specific area. So he did research and found out that area and decided to build Disney World there. And Wayne uses that, you know, in different conversations we've had and with other clients to pretty much paint the picture that Disney understood that his product was amazing, but if he didn't put it in a centralized place where roadways were converging, and converging.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, so I made the word converging. You know what I mean?
Okay. You fixed it up.
Where roadways were converging, and then, you know, where airways could kind of come. You know, they could build a big airport and all that stuff. If he didn't solve that traffic problem along with the product problem, then Disney World wouldn't be what it is today. So it's very important to say that. I'm saying that I took a long road to say you have to be thinking equally important, you know, as it is to think about the structure and all of the functionality of your website. You have to also be thinking about that. And a good web designer, good agency is going to be upfront with you about that. And just to, you know, drop knowledge on you all, there are fees associated with the two things. They don't just come in one package. I mean, you could get them in one package, but it's two different
services.
Yes, two different services. So any of you out here who come and check this video out and, you know, you're thinking about your website, understand that there are going to be some additional costs with your traffic.
And then I want to say too, like, you know, and if you are working with like a graphic or website designer, before choosing to work with one, you need to do your research and find out, you know, does that website designer also, you know, does my
So are they familiar with
the traffic? Yeah, you need to make sure.
Are they a digital marketer, right?
Yeah, are they a digital marketer?
That's the question, right? Like, do they?
That's very important, because sometimes some people assume that that's all inclusive in website designing, and it's really not. It's two different totally things. Granted, you do have people that do both. They can do both, but it's two different services.
Right. And I mean,
I just wanted to make that distinction.
No, that's a very good distinction, because early out, I was just a web designer. You know, a little background on me: I'm a graphic designer turned web designer. So, you know, all I knew early in my career was graphics. I just knew how to make things look good. And then
first it started off with you drawing and painting.
Oh, you're taking it back.
At the root of it.
Not the root.
The root of it.
But, you know, like, so I started off just knowing how to make things look good. And then as I got more experience, I realized that, you know, you need to get people to your actual website to make it effective. So that's very important. That's a very important distinction that Kimberly makes, that your designer, your agency, you have to make sure that you're checking to see if they're they're skilled in both building your website and driving traffic. And if they're not, then you need to see if they have resources or if you need to employ another company to help you with the traffic problem.
Right, because you don't want to be stuck after you have that website done, and then you're like, how am I going to get this traffic?
Yeah.
You don't want to get stuck like that.
Because then you're like, man, I didn't expect to incur this cost. I thought this was all included.
Yes.
Right.
We do have a question, but we'll wait till the questions at the end.
Yeah. Big shout out to my boy Sam. What's up, brother? Wow. Good to have you in, man. Even if you're in for a second. All right. So back to what we're talking about. Okay. So we're talking about driving traffic to your website, right? Mm-hmm. There's three major ways. Okay, that's what's up, bro. There's three major ways to drive traffic to your website. And I mean, of course, there's a whole bunch of different like minute ways, but these three major things we'll cover today is gonna get you thinking about the thing that works best for you, because you may be able to employ all three ways, which I suggest, but there may be some lower hanging fruit that might be more obvious for you or more advantageous for you to start with. Okay. So I'll list them all out and then I'll just kind of get into my notes, you know what I mean? Okay. So, three main ways to drive traffic to your website. You got search engine optimization, which is SEO. Now, if any of you had to do anything with marketing, you might have heard the term SEO. You're like, yeah, I gotta get my SEO up. Yeah, I need that SEO.
And don't know what that
you don't know what that is, right?
Because I need to get my SEO.
Yeah, I just know I need my SEO on my Google, my SEO. Right. So I'm gonna explain what SEO is, but SEO is one of the ways you drive traffic. Another way is content marketing. Mm-hmm. You might have heard this term thrown out, especially dealing with social media, and understanding how you can use information and content that you release on a consistent basis to actually get people into your, I like to call it your ecosystem, right? Your funnel, your website, your Facebook fan page, whatever the case may be, right? So you got content marketing, you mentioned SEO before, earlier, and then you got ads. You got paid ads and I guess you could call it organic ads, ads you make on your social posts. And yeah, you know what I mean? But really, we're going to talk about paid ads, right? So those are the three primary ways to drive traffic to your website. Now, there's some other, like I said, other ways that we won't really cover today. So I'm not saying these are the only ways, but these are the primary ways, okay? So let's dive into SEO. SEO, I mentioned what the acronym means earlier, is search engine optimization. And basically, it's the strategy around getting traffic to your website through search engines, right? So you got Google, you got Bing, you got Yahoo, and then you got everybody else who no one ever goes on and uses, right?
AOL.
Oh, don't you dare! What else would you use? There's nothing else. I don't know if you guys are using anything else. Like you're like 1% of 1%. But the primary ones, and Yahoo and Bing are kind of like their market share is really low, and they're kind of fighting for that low market share. But yeah, of course, everyone uses Google, right? So we're going to use Google as the primary example. But everyone uses it, right? You have something you're thinking about, whether it's buying something, buying a product, whether it's learning lyrics to a song, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to go on Google, you're going to do a search. So now, if you have a website and you want to get traffic to your website, there's certain things you can do with your content to optimize it so that when people do a Google search, they're going to find your website. So that's the whole premise behind search engine optimization. You're optimizing your site so that it's easily searchable, it can be easily searched, and people will be able to find your website.
And especially like on the Google pages, the better you get with it, the more you'll get to like the top of like the Google page.
Which they call ranking, right?
The ranking, you rank like, the top spots on the Google page.
Right. So, you might have heard that term before. I need to get my Google rankings up. So that's what Kimberly is explaining. It's initially when you build your website, Google hasn't had a chance to what they call crawl your website. Mm-hmm. They have, I've used this term for algorithms, right? Mm-hmm. They have algorithms that that search the internet and they find content based off of keywords and the content, the combination of words and the content packaged together. I'm trying not to get too technical, but I'm just going to kind of hit at it a little bit, just to,
simple.
yeah. So basically, they crawl your website and they determine the value that it gives to the world, right? And then it gets categorized in a certain category of things that are searched. So if you're searching for footballs and you're a guy that has a blog about football, football stats, right? You're going to fall in the category when a person types into that search bar football. Now, to optimize it, what you want to do is you want to begin to create content that is all centered around the overall topic that your website is about. Right. So if you're training people how to play tennis, if you're selling shoes, whatever it is, you have to have actual copy text on your website that is talking about the actual products and the services that you're offering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, a couple of years ago, I'll take a little quick sound out of this. A couple of years ago, this was abused by early designers who were basically, they learned the system and they realized that I can take keywords and just throw a bunch of keywords on a website, and then all these people are going to come to my website and give me traffic so that I can sell to advertisers.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, a couple of years ago, Google changed the system, and it's no longer built on keywords only, but it's built on rich content. Right. So rich content is you actually taking the time to write articles and blogs and create videos and create content that is centered around what you're talking about. So what you're seeing the Branding Geeks do right now is called rich content. I'm taking time to share knowledge with an audience. I'll then take this content, I'll put it on my website, I'll put it on YouTube, I'll put it on Facebook, I'll put it on all of the channels.
Right. And
when Google goes to crawl, because they also crawl videos. When they crawl my website and they crawl videos, they're going to see the keywords that I'm saying, and they're going to see the combination of the keywords that I'm saying. They're going to see how many times I've said branding, how many times I say SEO, how many times I said any particular word, and then they're going to cause that to rank me. And if I stay consistent with it, I move up in rankings. Mm-hmm. So that was a long explanation for SEO, but that's one route. Okay, that's one way to drive traffic to your website. Okay, moving on, content marketing, very similar to what I just kind of delineated. Content marketing is basically the thing that makes your website dynamic. Okay.
Your niche.
Yes. You can, it's your niche that you're pushing on your website, but the content marketing is really, how can I say this? There was a time when people were like, oh, I need a website, right? So you get your website and you get your basic page, you get your about page, you get your services page. Hey, I'm a hairdresser, so here are the styles that I do. Here's about me. Here's the location of my my studio, and here's how to contact me. And they would throw that website up, and they wouldn't visit it anymore. What happens is, once again, you're not optimizing it for search engines, and then also there's nothing driving me back to the website. There's no dynamic aspect of it that keeps me coming back to the website to see any updates. Right. So one of the easiest ways to do this in the past was to do news updates and to blog. And then blogging became this whole other thing, and it became this whole traffic grab type thing. But it's still very much necessary for any person who has a website. If you have a website, it's very important that you have a dynamic piece to it. Now, there's several different ways for you to approach this whole content marketing, right? I'm not going to cover all of them, but I'll cover the main ones. So talked about blogging. Blogging is simply writing articles, right? If you're a video gamer, you might want to write reviews about every game that you play and that you beat, and you talk about your journey to get into the last stage and all of the strategy used to get there. So blogging is very important because it allows people to see behind the scenes, you as a if you're an artist, if you're, just a personality, right? They might want to see behind the scenes. So blogs, yeah, we got kids, y'all. Okay, we got kids, so they need the parents. We gotta wear both hats. It's all right. But yeah, so you got blogs, right? Then the next one is vlogs, another form of content. Now, a lot of you might be familiar with vlogs from YouTube. Someone they have like their weekly, monthly, or however consistent, however they do it consistently. But it's just a way to come on and say, hey, you might be doing what we're doing, dropping knowledge. You might be like, hey, look at my life. I'm living this lifestyle as a single parent, and this is how I do it every day, whatever the case is. But that's another form of, yeah, that's definitely Dream back making noise. Oh, Lord, you funny dude. Shout out to my boy Bert, man. We do a podcast together. You gotta check it out. You gotta get a chance. It's called Open for Discussion, and we'll post links throughout the week or whatever. But that's the host, Bert, man. He's a funny guy. Anyway, so video vlogs are another way to have dynamic content so that you'll continue to keep people coming back. And that's the reality. That's what you want to do. You want to use content marketing as a tool to get people coming back to the site. So if you constantly dropping a new blog post and you're like, hey, y'all, dropping a blog post on Friday, you hit them up on social media on all your platforms, and then you have people subscribe to your website where they can get an email every time you drop a new blog post. Right. This is going to keep people coming back to your site, which in the grand scheme of things, you want people coming there so that they'll buy your products, or they'll buy your service. They'll choose your service. So this is another tool that's very powerful on top of SEO. That's why I say you should do all things, but try to start with one and then add on the others as you can. Right. But so you got blogging, vlogging, and you got podcasts. Podcast is a new hot thing. Everybody, I don't say everybody in Monk got a podcast because it's not. Well, I'm saying like its saturation is at a new level. Gotcha. We knew about it early days where it was just like, oh, that's a cool thing. How do we even do it? Now I'm starting to hear about it on a regular basis. And the reason behind that is because the technology has gotten more accessible, so it's easier to kind of get your podcast up and running. Sam, I see your question. I'm gonna try to hold it for. Well, I can hit it now. What you said?
No, wait to the
end. I'm gonna wait, Brad.
Yeah,
I'm waiting. All right. So I was talking about podcasts. Yeah, podcasts is a great way for you to once again do exactly what I'm doing. You can drop content where you're educating your audience. Mm-hmm. You can have discussions. You can make it a radio show. Like the thing about podcasts is so amazing. Like you can, through audio, you can literally create whatever experience you want. You can read books. I've listened to all kind of podcasts. And it's just
this right here can be turned into a podcast.
Yeah, and that's what we, essentially she kind of let the cat out of the bag. But that's what essentially we're going to do at some point. We're going to take up all of our lives and we're going to make a podcast out of it, so that for some of you all who haven't heard any of the other lives, we won't have you going and looking all over our Facebook page to find all of our previous content. You'll be able to consume it all in one shot, through a podcast. So that's another example of content marketing. And then lastly, you got webinars. A lot of you may have been on webinars for various things, right? Learning how to set up your Facebook page, how to do Facebook ads, how to use Instagram for money. I don't know, right? People got all these different things that they're using webinars for, but they're a very effective tool for teaching, for pushing products and even promoting events. I've seen webinars where people would have a webinar, what do you call it? They have a webinar kind of like to build anticipation for a live event, okay? Mm-hmm. And then equally useful are training videos or video trainings. So, that's a little bit more complicated. That's starting to get into sales funnels and, setting up a whole flow of how people consume your content. But essentially what it is a pre-recorded video. Let's say if this discussion I'm having right now, Kim and I had this pre-recorded, we would have this on a page. on our website, and we would have had people when they hit the page, they would have they would be able to go to the page and just watch this whole video,
Right.
consume the content, and take and use a call to action from there. So,
Right.
all right, that's that one. And then the last one is ads. I know I can just go in on each topic, so I'm try not to go too
That's
deep
right,
in it.
that's
So,
Last
oh my
one.
head, I'm gonna click it. Oh my
Oh my
gosh. Sorry. All right. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
ads,
Right.
right? So, with ads, there's the I keep want to say paid and organic ads, and I guess I'll just make the distinction between the two. But with paid ads, the long and the short of it is it's those ads that you see on Facebook, right? When you're scrolling through, you see them on Facebook, Instagram, you see them on like when you go to those what do you call it sites, like let's say dictionary.com or whatever, right? And they always have the ads on the right side or ads in the middle, right? They're all over the internet. This is another way to drive traffic, especially for those of you who have trainings and products, like you're selling clothes or you're selling, any type of shoes or things like that. Or whatever it is, it's products or services, it's the same thing, right? But you can use ads, and a lot of times this is the most, I would say, the most attractive thing that people choose to do, because it seems like it cuts, how can I say it? It seems like it takes less time to get up and running when you have ads, right? Because with the SEO and with the content marketing, those are long plays, right?
Mhm.
It's going to take a little bit of time for you to develop content and to get your rankings up. You're going to have to be consistent, and you're going to have to keep on producing content on a regular basis to get your growth on those areas. With advertising, it's really about, when it all boils down to it, it's really simply about cash. Cash is king when it comes to ads.
Yeah.
There's a thing in business, the person who spends the most money basically wins. And
I'll be right back.
and the reality is, with ads, it can be very expensive if you don't know what you're doing. So definitely you want to seek a professional to help you with that. But what I'll say about ads is simply, you have your Facebook ads, you have all the platform ads, you have Google ads, and basically you can set up, you can get with a professional that'll help you set up the verbiage that's necessary and the call to action to drive people back to your website. So let's just bring it all together, right? We have the three major ways to get traffic to your website: SEO, content marketing, and ads, right? Ads is the quickest but most expensive route to take. Content marketing is using, basically like Kim said, your niche and using all your content to drive traffic to your website.
Mhm.
And you do that through blogging, podcasting, webinars. And then also, I didn't mention this, but Facebook,
Right.
Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. But basically, if you are consistent with your post on there, you can use your post on there to drive traffic back to your website.
Right.
Okay, and then
Multi-purpose.
and SEO, hit them people up.
Hit those people up.
And SEO, you could SEO, like I was saying, it takes, I would say it takes the longest, because you have to allow Google to crawl your website and actually see some consistency with the topics that you're talking about. But once you get your rankings up on that, man, if a person types, if you're a football stat guy and someone types in football, if you've done your job, you can be on that first page, and you're getting buku amounts of traffic. And when you have that level of traffic to your website, now you're going to start getting pushed by the advertisers. You're going to get basically hundreds of thousands of eyes on whatever product or service you have,
Right.
and you're killing the game. So that's it. That's the long and short of
Good
it.
job.
I could keep going all night, but I want to get to some of the questions and then leave time for any more questions. But
All right.
that's what the geeks got today.
You did
You need
You did
traffic.
a great job.
Yes, thank you. But you got to get people to your site.
Yeah, that's important. So first question from Mr. Albert Snyder. How would, in detail, a website help my startup podcast, being that traffic is not exactly where I want it to be? I hate it. Only him. Okay.
This guy. Shout out to Bert. Like I said, so this is a great question because I'm actually I actually get a chance to join, to be a part of a podcast that Albert has. It's called Open for Discussion. So if you haven't got a chance to check it out, it's for African American males talking about life in America. Can't get any better than that. Absolutely hilarious.
And then occasionally,
then we bring the wives on,
join them,
which are they're the better shows.
Those are the best shows.
Okay. It's the truth. But we have a lot of fun, y'all. So check it out when you get a chance. But anyway, that's a good question. Yeah. So how would he wants details on, how would he drive traffic? If I'm gonna start a podcast, how would a website help? How would a website? That's good. Okay, so check it. A website is going to give your audience one centralized place to consume your podcast.
Right.
So, one thing that we assume, because everyone, I'm not saying that everyone's self-centered or anything like that, but, we live in our own bodies. We live in our own, minds, right? We are ourselves. So we tend to think that if I post something, then people are going to see it. Right. The reality of the situation is on their home feed, they're seeing hundreds of things every day. Mm-hmm. So if you posted a message saying, "Hey, my podcast has dropped," they might have seen it in their feed, or they might have not. So if you're expecting them to go back through their feeds from 3 days ago, from a week ago, from a month ago to go find all your episodes, it's not going to happen. So a website is going to give them a centralized place to consume all your podcasts at once. Right. And then on top of that, if you're optimizing it, which is what we're going to work on, Bert, if you're optimizing it, then you're going to actually start to combine all of those different things I talked about. So you're going to take your podcast, you're going to make a blog post about the episode. You're going to list out all the things you talked about in the episode. And then on that post, you will have a link to listen to the actual podcast, whether it's a video podcast or a audio podcast.
Right.
So now you're not only driving traffic to get people to listen to it on your website, but also you're going to have Google crawling that bad boy. Now Google starts to crawl it, SEO jumps up. Now people are saying, listen, is anybody talking about this Kaepernick issue? Boom, they type that into Google. If you've optimized your page and you're starting to get enough traffic, guess who's going to come up on the first page of Google?
Rank yourself.
You're going to be ranked. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be up there. So you see how I just kind of, went through those steps. But I all started with having a website. Like I started off in the beginning of this live. It's a 2-step process. So got to have the website because it's your central hub. One day I gotta write this book. Hopefully I can do it next year. But it's just so much to do. There's a series. No, you're right. It's done. It's gonna be done in Jesus' name.
That's right.
There's some crazy analogy you can go in on this the how can I say it? The consistencies or the parallels between the online world and the real world, right? So just like in real estate, you have your house. Well, your website is your home. Right. Like you got to have a home online these days. Right. You can't just have a brick and mortar business anymore. You need a brick and mortar business if the type of product you have needs one, but then you need your brick and mortar online, and you have to always be perfecting that brick. Just like you do maintenance on your house, you got to do that on your website, and then you got to have just like if Macy's wants someone to come to their store, they're going to have newspaper ads. They're going to have stuff all out. They're going to have commercials. Well, same thing for your website. Where's your billboards? Where's your commercials? What is bringing people to your website?
And to add to that question, Carlene wanted to know, to build on that same podcast question, would you suggest a website just for the podcast, or can it be added to a tab to your main brand website? That's a good question.
That is a great question. I would, if you ask me as a professional, I would say you would want to add that to your main website because it goes back to that traffic piece, right? if you are a personality, let's say if you're ColleenWright.com, right? You want that podcast to serve as that content marketing piece to drive people back to your website. If Colleen Wright is a coach, a life coach, right? So your podcast is talking about different things we're dealing with in life. When they come listen to your podcast, they'll see that, oh, wow, she actually has coaching packages where she can help me get through this depression issue that I'm dealing with. So while I'm here, let me go ahead and sign up for a free consultation with her for 30 minutes. I get on that consultation. Wow, this Miss Wright gonna help me get right. You know what I mean? She's gonna help me get right. So let me go ahead and purchase her package. So you see how it works, right? The traffic piece is all a strategy just to get people to take that call to action.
Right.
So you absolutely want to have it there, because if it's separate, then guess what? They're over there consuming the podcast. Is amazing, but what action are they taking? You know, they're not really doing what you want them to do. You know,
yes, Lord.
Yeah, and that's reality. Like as business owners, as content creators, as whoever you identify yourself as, you want to always be causing your audience to take action. Right. What is the action I'm taking? If I'm coming to your church, what's the action? Right. You know, am I getting saved? Am I getting delivered from something? What is the action? If I'm literally just on your website and you're a gamer like I used before, or you're a stat guy, what's the call to action you want? Do you want me to get your guide to, you know, how to beat, you know, Zelda or something? I don't know, right? Like what's the call to action?
Right. So great thing. She said, okay, thank you. Great feedback.
Oh,
no problem.
Hey, anytime. The geeks.
Next question by Samuel Richards. What's the ideal time length for a vlog to be effective with SEO?
That's a good question. So off the top of my head, I haven't looked this up in maybe a few weeks or so, but last time I was messing with this stat, it's around 3 to 5 minutes. You know, I think the attention span of your average listener, first of all, if you don't catch them in the first 7 seconds, then they're out of there, right?
Right.
So, but if you caught them in that first 7 seconds, then they'll hang around for 3 minutes. If it's really good, they'll stay for 5. But after that 5-minute mark, unless you're changing their lives, you know what I mean? Like right now, like, you know, with us, we're going along with this, right? But we understand that these lives aren't necessarily for, you know, us to just capture your attention the whole time. This is, you know, we're using these very strategies we're talking to you all about. So, right. You know, we understand that we're going to drop this content, but then we're going to take this content and repackage it, right? We're going to take this and we're going to, like we mentioned earlier, we'll turn it to a podcast. We'll also take some of the things we talked about and turn it to a blog post. So there's more strategy behind this. So this is why we're taking the time, no matter how many viewers we have, we're taking the time to drop knowledge so that we can really impact the community and be a resource for you all. And then we understand that through this method that we're using, we'll be able to repackage it and give it to you in different ways. So to answer the question, 3 to 5 minutes would be ideal with your videos. You know, but sometimes you can really get in a good topic. You could go longer.
And that could be like more so for like once you start building like your community of, you know, your followers that you have, you could do those longer videos because your community.
They're gonna stay on there.
And they're gonna be wanting that. Those are gonna be the ones that are gonna want the longer videos, you know, because they're gonna want to, you know, get more value from you. But yeah. Yeah. So hopefully
I answered that, bro. But yeah, you want to say 3 to 5 minutes, I would say, and another thing, quantity is better. Well, quantity and quality are important because you need quality, but quantity is very effective when it comes. Yeah. In the dark, like you tell you a secret.
Or like cameras right here.
Yeah. Or you know, right. But I was gonna say for SEO, it's quantity is really important too, Sam. So if you don't get like worried about like, dang, all my videos are too short, like I don't get a chance to really get into it. The more of them you do, Google, and especially if you have them all in one place, like on your website or whatever have you, then Google will crawl all of those and it'll combine it as, you know, it'll use it in a combined way to what do you call it? to boost your ranking.
Right.
So
good question, Sam. And let's see.
Oh, you know what?
Yes.
Is this? Can they even hear us on here?
I don't think so because Albert is at Good Info Fam.
Hey.
Oh yeah, thank you. Makes sense. Very helpful. So they're replying back.
Plug. Let me see. Deliverance and plug on quality. Oh, okay. Can you guys hear us? Because I just realized I have my headphones in here.
Yes. Can you give us a thumbs up if you can hear us, please? He just now realized he has headphones.
Oh,
I can hear you.
Is it clear? Is it clear, Sam?
Yeah, do we
Because
sound?
I wonder why she called us.
Okay.
You know, she probably could be warning us.
Yes, and she said yes.
Okay. All right. Whew, because last year.
Is everything good, Bree? Because, you know, we just got a call from you, you know.
Yeah, because last week we...
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all,
okay.
It was sounding like a little hurricane because our phones was by the computer fan, so it sounded.
Oh yeah, see, I'm so glad I remember to put it down here because we wouldn't do it again.
They would have been in the hurricane.
Cool.
Okay, thank y'all for letting us know that. Okay,
thank you, Vernique in the house. All right, so
and
we got any more written questions?
So he said, "Thank you, makes sense, very helpful. I appreciate the." I'm sorry, I lost my place.
Right here. I appreciated the definitiveness.
Oh, and plug on quality. Thanks, guys.
Hey, man, that's what I do, bro. My boy, man.
Yeah.
Go back. Hey, a true story, man. Something got me into the church, man. I was out there in these streets, you know.
Faithful remain.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm still in the church, brother. So thank you. Thank you, man, for doing what you got to do.
He's faithful in the church.
Yes.
All right, and let me see. Looks like possibly last question from Mr. Albert. When a client comes to you for a website, what are some key things that you, the designer, would be expecting the client to bring during the consultation stage?
That's a great question, my dude. So we talked about this a little bit, not last week, but the live before that. You got to get clarity first. Right. So I'm expecting you to come with an understanding of your business model, an understanding of, like I talked about earlier, call to action. Like as a business owner, as an artist, as a content producer, what do you want me to do? Mm-hmm. You have to have that figured out. And if you do, then that makes the designer, the web developer, it makes our job much easier because we can use the technology to get you to that end result, okay? Now, the branding piece, we help you with that. We help you with strategy. We help you understand, get down to the heart of what you want your audience to do. Mm-hmm. And then we devise a whole strategy around that. But to answer the question, we will want, first above all things, you should know, what call to action you want your audience to take. And you want to be clear on, what product and service you actually deliver. Mm-hmm. If you're a stylist, okay, how do you style people? What are your 1 through 5 steps that you use to get someone made over, right?
Who's your target audience?
Right? That's another thing, right? So that all kind of goes into it. So then from there, it's really about what elements of your brand do you already have done, or what do you need us to do, right? Do you have a logo? Do you need us to do a logo?
And then with us, like in our free 30-minute consultation with us, before you meet with us, we have you fill out a questionnaire, and that kind of gives us an idea on where you are and where your business is as well. So we're not just shooting in the dark, but we have an idea.
Appreciate that. My uncle here, appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully, Bert, that answers your question. But before we can even get into anything, and I'll be honest, as a young designer, I made a mistake and just dived into a project. A person like, I want to sell shirts, and then I just start building stuff for them. And then you get down the road and you realize they actually want to sell boots. It's like you don't even want to sell a shirt. So now I'm learning, that you have to be clear about where you want to go, and then we can then take that and devise a strategy around it. Okay. So yeah, any questions? Want to leave some time for questions? We've been riding out for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Well, those were the questions. If they had any additional questions.
Yeah. Any additional questions? Thanks for the questions tonight, fellas.
Yes.
Really appreciate it. I think they helped the conversation to move.
And ladies.
Well, they didn't ask questions, but that's why I said fellas.
We did. Carlene.
Carlene did ask a question.
Yes,
I'm sorry, Carlene.
Thank you.
Carlene, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at Facebook over here, and I'm like, yeah, they asked questions, but you're right. You did ask a question.
Yes.
And that was a great question, Carlene. I think a lot of people have that same question. It's like, they don't want to feel like their website is being too.
Yes, and ladies.
And ladies, yes, they don't want to feel like their website is being too cluttered with too much content. But the reality is, if everything, here's the key, guys. Everything has to point back to the same call to action.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't look like clutter. But if you're like, yo, I do hair.
She said she forgives you, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. But you don't want to be like, I do hair, and then I'm also a fitness coach, and I'm a comedian too. But I do a little motivational speaking on the weekend too.
So what we're not going to do.
It's like,
okay.
nah.
But we're going to do one thing. We're going to master one, and then build upon that.
Well, you can ride out on that. We might talk about that next week. Being a master of one thing, because a lot of us, especially, I ain't getting into that. I'm just gonna touch that. But we're all talented people.
Yeah.
And we can do multiple things. So it's like, what do you choose first, and which one? We'll talk about. We can do that next week. How to identify where to start.
Yeah, because a lot of people have. What we come across is some of our clients have a hard time narrowing down their niche to a specific target audience. They want to try to take on everybody, but no. Because
they're multi-talented, right?
Yeah.
So you think you can do it all at the same time, and the reality of it is you just can't. So anyway, if we don't have any questions, we appreciate all the love tonight. Thank you for everybody coming on. This is our new day. We're going to be on here every Tuesday
at 8 p.m.
At 8 p.m. And we're going to ride out for about a good, amount of time. If you guys keep asking questions, we'll ride out with you. But obviously, we don't want to keep you riding out.
Yeah, Al said practice. Appreciate the insight. We'll definitely talk soon. All right, then. Yeah. And Vernique says, why is that me? Choose one thing and master it. Definitely.
Yeah, we definitely talking about it next week. It's a big thing, because especially millennials, we've grown up in an era where we have access to so much information, right? So you learn about a various amount of things, and you just want to just do it all. Yeah. But the reality is you got to pick one, master that, win in that, and then use that as a template for everything else. I'm getting to my notes for next week. I ain't going to mess with it. Yeah. Any questions, y'all, before we jump off here?
We say, yay, new schedule. Hey, Fee.
Shout out to Fee. Get her book if y'all haven't got a chance to.
Yes, it's a whole mood.
I ain't saying that.
FeliciaVaughn.com.
Yeah. FeliciaVaughn.com. Check it out. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, sis.
Yeah, it's gonna help you if you're dealing with it, any depression, anything that you don't want to deal with. She's gonna show you how to overcome that thing. So check that book out.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else?
Jared says, "Preach, hey, Jared."
Shout out to there's so many people, man. Look, man, it's a lot of love tonight, man. I appreciate y'all coming through, showing love.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out to meet the. I said the Parkers.
Meet the Masons.
Meet the Masons. There
yes.
we go. They always hang out. I ain't gonna tell people business. Anyway, y'all know what I meant, man. Meet the Masons, man. Shout out to them. Anyway, anything else, babe?
No, that's it.
All right, y'all got any questions? I still want to talk. If y'all got any questions for you, boy,
I'm just trying to hang on. But we're gonna let y'all go, okay? Because we've been going on for 49 minutes and some change, right? And then we're gonna let you all get back to your power couple. Thank you. We received.
Thank you.
Yes.
That means a lot.
Thank you, Carlene.
Appreciate that.
But thank you all so much for joining us for this week's weekly live.
Yes.
We will be seeing you all next Tuesday.
Where can they find us?
Same day, same time, Tuesday, 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us. We are at The Branding Geeks on Facebook, Instagram. Our website, new website is thebrandinggeeks.com.
Yep.
If you want to chat some more, have any branding questions, or you want to get your free 30-minute free consultation, whether that's for any logo or website or branding, feel free to get on our website and you can schedule your consultation with us.
All right.
With that being said, we hope you all have a better than ever week
Yes,
and an even more better than ever weekend. And we hope to see y'all next Tuesday at 8 p.m.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.